card stacking propaganda works by highlighting only certain facts to take advantage of the way that our brains process information. It means only showing one side of the story while hiding or leaving out anything that might support the other side. People don't notice what's been left out. Instead, they take in the selected information they've been given as if it's the whole story, especially if it confirms what they already believe. One meta-analysis found that one-sided messages, card stack messages, are more convincing than two-sided messages when the audience doesn't understand the other side or has a lower education level. Card stacking is especially effective when it stirs up strong emotions like anger or fear or pride. These emotions can trigger motivated reasoning, which means that people start thinking in a way that protects their feelings and beliefs. And it's one thing to watch out for a single biased story, but if the system itself is built to favor one-sided messages, then the deck isn't just stacked, the whole casino is rigged. And in an era of a 24-hour news cycle where these individual card stack messages are running into each other on loop, perhaps card stacking is now less about individual pieces of propaganda, but about media systems. In the United States, the main rule that focused on this sort of systematic card stacking was called the Fairness Doctrine. It said that radio and TV stations had to talk about important public issues by showing all different sides of those issues. If a station aired a show or an editorial that clearly supported one side, it also had to give a fair chance for the other side to respond. But in 1987, the Fairness Doctrine was removed under President Ronald Reagan. Then U.S. broadcasters have had more freedom to be openly one-sided. Today in the U.S., there are a few specific rules like truth in advertising laws or the equal time rule for candidates during elections, but there is no one broad rule in the United States that requires news outlets to show both sides of an issue. And today, big companies can own lots of stations and newspapers all over the country. Now, this doesn't necessarily force card stacking, especially on an individual level, but it makes it easier for these one-sided messages to spread widely if the owners choose to focus only on one point of view. But in Germany, the rules for news and media still say that what you see and hear has to show more than one side. Those rules come from the lessons learned in Germany after dealing with dangerous propaganda during the Nazi era. Germany's Federal Constitution Court requires that TV and radio must support people informing their own opinions freely. The Interstate Media Treaty says that both public and private broadcasters should have a basic, fair mix of different viewpoints. But public TV channels like ARD and ZDF are further required by law to stay politically balanced. If they did only show one opinion, it would break the rules. If a TV channel keeps leaving out certain facts or only shows one side of the story, that state media office can then sanction them or even take away their license to broadcast. Germany also has laws to stop just one company or person from owning too many media outlets. This helps to make sure that many different voices and ideas are shared, which helps prevent card stacking, at least on the systematic level. In Germany, giving a fair and balanced news is seen as a basic service that broadcasters must provide to protect democracy. But in the United States, things work differently. U.S. American rules rely more on the marketplace of ideas, hoping that reporters will follow good ethics and that, theoretically, having lots of different news sources will help balance things out on their own.